Okay, so again, we've never done anything like this, either the Academy or on YouTube, but
We're nuts.
I'm noticing that triptychs are these paintings that are 3-panel paintings are really popular, and it's a way to create a large painting in your living room and paint. And you can do this on a. You don't have to have a giant canvas to do an easel to do it. Now I'm holding in my hand this transfer paper. Normally, you can buy this Sorel transfer in like I want to say typing size sheets, but nobody types
Yeah, 8.5
anymore.
by 11.
8.5 by 11. But in the old days, it came in rolls. Now it comes in large sheets. There's two of these large sheets laid across like that, kind of overlapping. And you could, and this is white, okay? And that's Sorel transfer paper, okay?
So what we got, let's explain what we have. We have it's a 16 by 24, but it's on 3 canvases that are each 8 by 16.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah.
We're kind of showing you
There's eight.
behind.
We'll show you that in a minute. But there's
Yeah,
3 panels here. But we've taped the traceable together. But you'll print them out when you get your traceable because they're 8 by 16. There'll be two 8 by 8 traceables that you will just glue together. Or tape together. And then you'll have one picture.
yeah.
Okay. And this is how. So when you do the entire painting, you will have uh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, 6 pieces. Yes. Okay.
Wow, good math.
I know it's so good. So right now, though, I've got them all together, and I'm going to trace them on all together uh, to do that. But if you want to, you can, and we'll explain why we're doing it that way. But if you just are going to do this first panel and not do the others, you can get just the traceable for this piece. This is painting 1, 2. There's really 3 paintings, but when you put them together, they're one big, beautiful big painting. Okay.
That's the
So
end goal.
I'm going to use a pen here with it so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going back over it several times. I'm pushing pretty hard because I want this to show up. And sometimes if you just run a pen lightly across it, you don't get the effect. It doesn't work that well. See what I mean? So you see how I just keep going on. Every once in a while, I'll show you how to use traceables. Sometimes people don't know that. And that's just one of the uh, tricks you have to do. Um, I'm starting with the building because that building makes a difference. I mean, we can fudge a lot, but you've got to have that building in. And of course, there's a tree in here like this. That's like some sort of little tree here. And um, so I want to just work on, well, I know that the painting's going to come up this far with bushes, okay? All right. So now I'll take this like this and see how I'm going over it. And you could also use like a ruler or something like that if you wanted to make sure that easier to go back and forth on something straight. But go back and forth over the lines because once this comes off, good luck. Good luck again, right?
You're not getting it lined up
You're not going to
again.
get it lined up again. So this is kind of critical that you do that. And so I won't bother to put this window in here or this shadow. Uh, this sort of comes up to a peak here that the printer didn't quite do it right. That's the I know that comes up to a peak. All right. So and for the tree, I'm going to just instead of outlining the tree, I'm just going to do one line. Okay. That's what you do. You've got it, and I won't go it any further than that. Okay, because the sky has to come first. You can't put the palm trees in until you do the sky. So we're gonna just kind of show where it starts. All right. Now, I'm using, this is called a bridge, and I'm using that so that I don't mess the paper up.
So you don't get smudgy.
So I don't smudge it.
A different kind of smudgy. All kinds of smudgies in our business.
Yeah. So we've got some rocks over here. And the coastline is uh, kind of interesting because you've got some rocks coming back in here, and then you've got some rocks coming up here like this. And then these are all rocks kind of coming down here like that. All right. And then the main thing is your steps. Steps get smaller as they go up. Did you know that? And I'm not going to draw in the flower, put that in later, but we'll sort of break these rocks in a bit, a little bit more like that. I sort of break those in a little bit, break them up, I guess, with the word I want to use here. And then these rocks come here like this, and here's where our ocean is. Well, so I know that this is all rock in here. So, someone says, "Is this a beginner tutorial?" Absolutely not. But you've been watching me for 10 years. No, we aren't beginners anymore. There's a lot, my
We're
daughter, the
classifying
art
this as
server, does all kinds of beginner tutorials, but, at some point, you gotta get past the beginner stage, don't you think?
this is a free
Start
cookie.
And, yeah, this is and so we want you to be able to progress. What could you, wanna the people that on YouTube that do the more advanced paintings, they just kinda do them and they say, "You can watch them. We're not gonna tell you how we did it. You can just watch," and that's fine.
Not fine for us, though.
Not fine for us.
We
And then
step up the
we
game.
then not only want you to be able to see it, but, this building ends I don't know how this printed out here. This building ends right here, okay? And then this is all trees in here. So, I mean, there's some trees going up in here. This is all bushes. So at this point, see, I'm gonna move my, um just all trees. I don't wanna go too far, but just I need enough of an idea of what we're doing here so that when I put the sky in, I know where we're going. Here, let's do this because this is quite a reach here. You've got to make sure this edge, you see, this is lined up right at the edge of the third canvas. Okay. So you've got some rocks.
Take your time on this part.
Some other rocks. And I don't think we need to and then what you need to know here, right, is that basically is that this is the line for this wave, and it's going to come up. We won't paint, it's going to kind of come this way like that. We're not going to go all the way to the top. All right, and so that you've got these blue lines here. So this is sort of this is the separation of the surf between these rocks and the rest of the ocean. All right. So you want to know that. And then as far as the beach goes, there's the water line here, which is don't get so exact with it, but you know that that's there. And here's this little rock here, which is a good waypoint here, and this is that kind of that orange area right there. And then I don't really need. I guess I could do this one, something like that. A lot of times you can get a little nuts trying to put in all the details. That's the tree there. There's the tree there. Tree there. Um, and this is all dark in front of this house. And this is a rock right here. I'm looking at the actual picture too, so I'm not just guessing where this stuff is. I'm looking at well, I'm guessing too, but uh, I'm guessing too, but I'm actually looking at where this goes to. Okay, there's some windows in here, so I guess I could put this window in just because we know it's here. Okay. Um, and that's it. And you're thinking, well, surely there must be more to this than that.
Did you do the palm trees and all or not?
No, you don't paint. No, because the palm trees are going against the sky. So those we're ad-libbing those later. We don't do those. The only thing we're concerned about is this shoreline here and the rocks coming over here. Okay.
It just made me so nervous doing it that way.
I know, but that's what
So
I don't know what to tell you. That's what you have to do, right?
Well, the stock folder in me has,
and then
there's
some flowers along this rock here. This different. You're going for values in here, so that's what you see. That's what we're doing. So and then this comes out a little bit here, but I would just take the ocean all the way over and then bring the
plant over.
bring the plant out. I suppose you need to kind of do that. And that's I would say that's.
Now, once you peel it up, that's it.
I would say that's pretty much.
Just saying.
Pretty much what I have going in here like that.
Oh, I'd be a nervous Nelly.
Yeah. So all right. So this helped. This kept me from smudging it. So that was that bridge is it's very nice. And then like in here, like this is the back of this house, but we'll just do something in here like that, and then we'll put those plants later. Okay, all the flowers and stuff get later, dear friends, later. And so this is coming up a little bit higher here, so it starts high here and goes slow down into here like that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to guess that this is all I need to do. And if you felt you needed more, I mean that's fine. I think this is a little confusing otherwise. To do it like this, it's a little confusing. But that's the brown. Maybe it helps you if you said what that was. That's brown. And if you need to have something like, say, R for rock, if you need to tell yourself that, right? You know, write a code. Give yourself a little code. If this is all you're going to get on this. All right. So I'm going to take this off and then
okay. Now what we're going to do is going to take a break here.
Okay, we take a break.
This is part one, part 0.
This is part 0.
This is what you're ultimately going for.
This is what we're painting. You see what I mean? So this is this wave here. That's that line here. That's this.
Just want to make sure you see everything before we move it.
Then this is this here. This is our steps. These are these rocks. And then this is sort of, well, it's really just, beach back in here. See? Beach kind of comes in here like that. Beach.
Left-handed writing. Okay, now this is going to be shown on each of the 3 pieces.
Yes.
3 parts. So if you come in on part 2 or 3, you're going to know what's going on, but you have to go find part 1 if you want to do the first painting. Okay, we're going to take a break here. We're going to strip this all off, and we'll be right back.
So how exciting is this? Here's our 3 pieces. How they're going to be put together, right? See that? Okay, so this is our picture. Okay, so I'm going to put this away because we're working on
Middle. Day 2.
The middle piece today. We're working on this piece, okay, which is right here. Okay, this is the piece we're working on. This is what we finished yesterday. So that's way cool, right? So this is the piece we're working on, and this will be. I think this is once you get the swing of this, this is going to be really easy and fun. First I'm going to start. I'm just going to block in the houses so that I don't lose those, and maybe my rocks, and then I'll come back with the sky. We'll just do that first, because we're going to be using the same colors as we did for the first one. And again, though, I want you to see that this is nice, right? This is a pretty panel all by itself. So let's see. We want to take. Did you bring my brushes back from yesterday?
You did. They're all stacked over there in your little tray on the right of you.
Something on the right. Oh, I see them way over here.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, way over, way over.
So this is the brushes
I mean, you haven't been putting them away, and you don't like the way I put them away. So by golly,
okay,
you got to put them away.
All right. So those are all the just okay. All right, fine.
Just so you know.
Just well, it looks like we know. So let's just put those up there like that. All right. So cool. So again, I'm going to just be using the same colors. So we're going to talk about maybe some. We're talking about the same colors, but I need to put a few more out on the Stay Wet palette. They get a little bit wetter the second day. They're not as heavy body. They tend to be, but that's all right. You just have to know that. And let's think. I think I have all the colors out here that I want to use here. So, for instance, we need a little bit more burnt sienna. And just to give you an idea, just somewhat the difference on that, because they're sitting on, this is damp, right? So they're going to absorb some of the moisture. I really see it on the little Masterson palette. But that's fine. Here's some more burnt umber. Okay. And I don't think I have any ultramarine blue out. Where'd that color go? Here. You may notice that I've got a Matisse here. That's like 10 years old. I'm still using up my paint. Okay, so all right. But normally I buy Golden, but or Matisse, but not Matisse, but Holbein. But Matisse is fine. It's just we quit getting a deal on it at Jerry's. They quit. We used to be able to buy it cheaper at Jerry's Artarama than you could buy it in Australia. So that being said, let's start with a little bit of let's just do this awning right here. Pretty close, like that. Just the first layer. Just think I just trying to underpainting on these guys so that I have cemented them in. So to
First
speak.
layer.
First layer of anything. This is a little Bristol on brush, and then I've got something dark brown over here. And I want to look at my third image for a minute. And the reason I want to do that is I want to see what's over here is just rocks, okay? So I've got, there's this house right here. And then this is very dark in here. We'll put a little ultramarine blue with that. Ultramarine blue and burnt umber make a very dark color. So we're just going to put some dark, because there'll be some foliage over this. And this goes not quite to the edge here. All right, it comes down like that. And then we have something pretty dark under here, like that. There's a tree that's going through here, like right there, but we could probably figure that out, don't you think? So ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and I know I want something kind of dark around here like that. Because this house sort of blends into the jungle at this point. Okay, so that's a little bit darker under this eave here like that. We'll just do this. And it's a little bit darker here. And kind of move this over. Notice I have the other one next to me. You see that? See how this awning here, move this down, okay? This awning here lines up to this. In fact, I'll just do a little white paint here and show you what I'm talking about. See, that's this awning here, right, like that.
You notice how she touched a little bit on the other one.
Yes, because then you kind of paint them like that. So let's put something kind of light under here for now. We'll talk all about all of this later. But this is a good color. Then I'll just grab a little bit of this orange color up here. Oh, isn't that nice? And I'll just put that in here now. It's not the final color, but then I'm not going to end up erasing my houses by mistake. That's probably the main reason I'm doing this. And this is a little bit lighter on the awning. Like so. And then there's just something a little bit lighter, let's see, kind of light under here like that. There's that. Okay, like that. And then there's something kind of lighter under here like that. And then there's some plants. So we're just going to put that like that. And as long as I've got my light paint, I'm going to paint this kind of light color in here like this. This goes up like that. It's an interesting roof. Well, um, maybe they didn't have any building codes when they built this, and somebody went to architecture school and then kind of flunked out, and this is what they that's what they built. And you laugh about this, but I'll tell you a true story. You guys have a story where I'm painting this in? You want to hear a true story?
Yeah, I was sure.
So years ago, back when my daughter was in grade school, we had some neighbors in California, Southern California, and they also had horse property. That's how we got to know them. And because we all had horses. And they were from, the guy was from Poland. He was Polish. And, and we became friends through the horseback riding. Okay. We became friends. And so they had us over for dinner on several different occasions, and maybe told you about them. But he was telling us about, he had grown up, his family was nobility in Poland before World War I. His family was like, a count or duke or somebody. It was a big deal. They were big deal. They were big deal Polish royalty. Not the king, but, right up there with the royal family. Okay. And so he was saying that when the Germans attacked Poland in World War I, they unfortunately lost the family home. The family mansion was sort of destroyed. So his father had spent a great deal of time and effort into saving up the money to buy the materials for the to replace it. Okay. All right. So you see here, and I'm going to come down here and put these dark rocks in here like this. It'll come right up here to the, let's see, right here to the edge, right? So I want to continue this like this. And sometimes it helps to see where this is. There's a plant. See this little plant here? Well, now look what happens when I do that. See, that helps you when you have this next piece, right? Then you can see that this is going to be kind of green up there, okay? So I don't have to go up much further than this. And up in here like this. That's how you use these pieces. So anyway, his dad, so anyway, his dad was determined to put the family mansion back. I don't know what the thing looked like, but it was pretty elaborate. So the war was over, and his daughter had married the most famous architect in all of Poland. Now, I'm not being disparaging of anybody from Poland, okay?
You
But I
better
know it's
not
going
be.
to,
That's my ancestry.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that I don't know what that means, in comparison to say other countries. If he was like the best architect in the world or just in Poland, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, do you? Yes. Okay. So anyhow, um, let's see, and then we want to take it. I'm just going to rinse the brush here. I'm going to tell you the story. So he asked because you do this in families, right? If a family member can do something, why would you pay for it, right? So the guy was married to his daughter, so he asked him to restore the family mansion. Okay, he wanted the family mansion just to restore it, or the palace, or whatever this thing was that they had. Okay, use your imagination. So okay, so you see where I'm coming here, and I'm coming here. So I'm coming right now. This is important. I'm coming right here to this. All right, you see where I'm going with this? So if this is the steps here, then there. See how easy that was? You're going, okay. Now I'm going to change brushes to make something a little bigger since we decided that's where that was. So, okay, well, the family had to have, they were kind of, the family mansion was gone, yes? So they had to have, I'm reaching over here and getting my mixer board here, just because I need to mix the color here, and I don't want to do it on a wet surface. A little bit of the orange color in here, like that. So, the so they had to have a temporary place so they all could live. The war was over, and until they could then they would live in the temporary house, and then this architect would then um, make like the big house. Then they continue on with the big mansion. Okay, that was the plan. Okay, that's what Dad wanted.
A good plan.
Okay, so we know this is a little bit more orange in here, like this, coming up like this. Always zigzag your your water stuff, like you want to zigzag it. Okay, so that we're just kind of getting there, and I see where this is a little bit. I've got a little burnt sienna in here, like this. Also a little bit lighter up here, kind of in front of that. And always plant over the rocks. You don't have to be too exact. So anyway, he did, and there were two problems with this. Okay, the first problem turned out was that to make the family temporary house, he used up all the materials they'd saved to build the palace. There was nothing left to build the palace because he used it all up on the house. It was just some sort of temporary digs until the real uh, until the real house could be done. And then when they went to get into the house, they went to get into the house. Their family architect, bless his heart. Now we're going to start painting the back here. Remember, I told you we'd do that. Bless his little heart, he forgot to put in some stairs so they couldn't get into the second floor. He forgot to design the stairs for that. It's true story. I don't. Why do I think that's gonna be? I think that's just hilarious. Just myself, but maybe you don't. To me, I think that's really very funny. All right, we had a lot of bloom on that, so we're gonna rinse that off. See that? Let's just take a little bit of white and there like that. I'm gonna paint this side. That's just the first coat, right?
Just your base color.
That's just your base color. So that when you put them together, when the paints go together, here, let's do this one too. Now see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to just do that too. You want to bring if you want to bring the picture around a little bit.
Especially if you're not going to frame them.
Yeah, and the frames on these are, quite frankly, I was shocked at how expensive the frames were. So I think if you either bought maybe a wider gallery wrap canvas than what I'm using, or let's see.
Yeah, I would probably go with a gallery wrap.
I would go with a wider gallery wrap, and I'm just going to do
Maybe
this.
not that really super thick one.
See how I'm just kind of going between the two pictures now when you put them together? See? That's what you want to do. Then you want to put them together and you want to cement them like that. See? So now it's starting to make more sense, right? Because we've put these together, and now you're seeing where, um, let's see, let's put the thin water. Come on, now it's getting fun, right? This is like a giant puzzle you're doing. Really, really fun. So let's continue the roof on here like this. Get too much water on the brush because we had it. We'll just do it for now. We're just gonna put this roof on, and then remember, this is where this gets important. Um, you've got to do the sides on both sides. You got to do the sides on this. So that's going to take you a little bit of time, but well worth it. When we get into the green, we will do the sides there. So I won't put that together, but that gives you kind of an idea of how you're going to um, do these. Right now, we're just doing the underpainting on the rocks. I think we'll take some burnt umber and yellow, and let's just put that right there. Okay. And see, I'm going to make sort of this is really like an olive green, just burnt umber and yellow. Did you know you could make an olive green that color? So we're going to paint over the blue here, and just cover that up. Again, I think that take a little bit of yellow oxide now. That was cad yellow light, by the way, and this is burnt umber, and you see you get a golden brown. But if you do the yellow, you get kind of a green color. So put a little orange in that. Okay, that's sort of interesting. Let's take a little bit of ultramarine blue. See there? So that's sort of an interesting, that's sort of a green color. We're just going to come under here like this, and this is our green kind of underpainting. As long as we're doing stuff, right? I think this side will go a little bit quicker than the other. All right. And then let's just take a second and dry that. What do you guys think? Let's just take a minute and dry everything.
Good idea. Let's lock it in.
So we want to lock that in because we want to take some white and a little bit of phthalo blue. We're just mixing on here because we're not making a permanent mixture. We're just doing a little bit of white and phthalo blue, right? And a little bit of ultramarine blue. Okay. Okay. little bit more white, and a tiny bit of orange, because I want to gray that blue a little bit, right? Just a tiny bit of orange in there. That just tones it down so it doesn't look too plasticky. Does that make sense? And let's just cover this up with some blue, kind of a light blue gray color. First layer, and then we're going to come up under here like this. Pull that over this way. And I'll use up all that paint for there, okay? Again, not the final coat, but, could still paint it if I wanted to on the sides. Okay, so we have that color. Now, we want to go back to that sky color we had yesterday, so we're going to go ahead and use our Masterson Stay Wet palette. And that was the color we used. Remember what it was? It was ultramarine blue, right? But that's what it was, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and white. And quite a bit of white, actually. Okay, so there's kind of our color, and it was a little darker on top. Remember we talked about that? So I want to come over here like this, get a little bit more of that darker blue color, kind of bring it back here like this. And this one has a little bit of magenta. The sky goes a little purple on us. It has a little bit of magenta in it. When you get over this way, we change colors a little bit.
Starting getting into some of the purples.
We get into some purples. And of course, it's just a lighter blue down in here, but we're going to come. I don't want to pre-guess where our uh, palm tree is going to be. So we're just going to come down here like this and come down low enough with the sky. First layer. Okay. So you got this house right here, and there's some trees, and then this is so just don't fool around with it. Just bring the sky all the way down. It doesn't hurt to bring it all the way down. And it gets a little bit, if you'll see in the picture, it gets a little purplier down in here, which is why I've left it like this. Kind of this purple tone. Of course, it's not going to be that close to the house, but it's a little bit purple, more purple. And I'll take a little bit of the ultramarine blue and magenta. And we've got some darker colors kind of coming down like that. And just pull some of that in here like this. A little bit, just take a little bit of white on the brush like that. This is how you match colors. You don't have to match them completely, but see that? That's kind of cool, right? So what we want to do then is just um, bring that all around on the edge. So anyway, the father was just furious. He never forgave his son-in-law for the fact they didn't have a family mansion. But they were an interesting couple. They were in their 70s when I knew them, and they were an interesting couple. His wife was French, and they had both fought in the resistance in World War II. She was in the French resistance, and he was in the Polish resistance. But he said when the Germans had invaded Poland, they had tanks, and he was a cavalry officer, and they were fighting tanks with horses.
Fighting tanks with horses?
Yeah, which doesn't work well for you. One of those faulty things, right?
Yeah.
See how I'm just painting the edge here like that? So anyway, they were a very nice couple. I liked them. They lived in Southern California is not a cheap place to live, and he worked full time, even though he should have been long past the retirement age. She gave French lessons in a private school, and he worked full time in La Jolla at a think tank in La Jolla, California. But I always got the feeling that money was a struggle for them, and that they could, they were doing okay, but you wouldn't want to push it. Does that make sense? So we had a horse that somebody had given us that was, one of my friends. This is an interesting story. One of my friends, she was from England. Her father won a, want to say, Nobel Prize for math or something. Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Prize. Anyway, one of those big prizes. And her husband was a physics professor. She was they'd come to America from England, and just a couple of things I remember at her. And and she would come out and ride horses. I met her through competitive trail riding. And the problem, her horse went lame, and it was going to take about a year to recover. And she couldn't afford the board to keep the horse not doing anything for a year and then buy another horse and have a horse to ride. So she just gave him to me. She said, "Can you take this horse?" And I said, "Yes, I could take the horse," because he could stay at our house and recover for a year, and we just feed him. And then my Polish friends, their horse died. I was very sad. Their horse died, and then old age or whatever, and they didn't have any way to buy another horse. And I said, "Listen, I have such a deal for you. You won't believe this deal I got for you. I have this horse, total free, promise. No, those things that pass. I give you free, promise." Okay. And I get into my accents every once in a while. It's so fun. And they had the horse, and he got to ride again. It was very sweet. So
It all works out in the end.
All worked out in the end, Just you never know. And then there's that other story we'll talk about another time with them. Remember, I probably told it before, but it's such a good story. Maybe for the next panel, I'll tell you the other story about them. Hi, you guys. Ginger Cook here with Acrylic Painting Monday. And I'm so glad that you're part of our art family and you're here to join us this week. And I want to introduce you to 5 paintings and how perhaps you can take one of those home. So come on down to the table, John. The first one I'm going to show you is our tribute to the beaches of Australia. My friend Debbie McKay, when we were in Australia about Lucy in 2021, she graciously took us out and showed us the beaches, and she showed us the place where she lived. And it said that she thought that the beaches in Australia were some of the most beautiful in the world. And Debbie's a world traveler, and we had to agree with you. And this painting was inspired by that trip. It's not a tutorial; it's a one of a kind original piece. And this could be a painting that you could actually be hanging in your wall. Now the frames don't come with the paintings, but they're pretty easy to frame. This is a 9x12 butterfly and strawberries, and I think this is a charming piece. And you know what? John and I have, over the last 10 years, have given away thousands and thousands of dollars worth of my original artwork. And we're happy to do it because you have been supporting the channel by supporting our scholarship fund. You not only are helping other artists learn to paint through personal art coaching and our acrylicpaintingwithginger.com or our art academy, but you've been helping keeping the lights on in the studio and helping us replace cameras. All those donations go to such a good cause. And we really appreciate you. And this is our way of giving back to you for the way you give to us. It's a really nice symbiotic thing. And I want to just take a moment to kind of showcase the artwork, because sometimes when you just see it painted on the table, you don't really realize how beautiful these pieces can be framed. This 9x12 chicken would look cute in anybody's kitchen. All these paintings, by the way, will be varnished, which will bring out the colors even more and have a certificate of authenticity. And we don't know how many more years we can be doing this, but we do know that through your help, we can keep providing quality professional art videos for you guys that watch us on YouTube, and keep the Academy going, and also allow people who are financially, maybe they live around the world somewhere else, and the Art Academy and the memberships are just out of reach for them. You help them get an art education. Now we have our original kitty, which may someday be a tutorial. So some of you said that you'd love it to be, but right now this is just a one-of-a-kind Ginger Cook original painting. And as I said, all these pictures will be signed and have a certificate of authenticity. So basically, to sum it up, for every $25 you contribute over the next 3 months, your name goes right into our fishbowl for a live drawing. It's a total win-win for everybody. Love you guys, and thanks for being part of our art family. Now I want to put a little bit, I'm not going to put quite as much purple in this picture. Let's put the pictures together again, and let's talk about it, right? Let's do that. Okay, so we've got this guy. See how it's kind of purple over here? I'll do some. Do you think that's too much purple? Should we put all that purple in there? It is an interesting picture like this. Now here, I want you to get the full effect. So you see, here's where the little bit of this purple comes over the edge here, which we can do kind of this way. See, but it's not here, really. Um, and, but it is darker on this side, because it's almost like it almost looks like it's going to rain, you know what I mean, with this dark cloud. So this is all impressionistic, and maybe we will. Then if you decide you want to do something different, you have my permission to do something different. Not that you need it, but okay. So we're going to say that we've got some purple here and then these clouds, right? So I think we have to do that, right? What's good, we had this discussion, you guys, we had to decide. We had the discussion, and we made up our minds that that's what
we all voted on it.
We all voted on it. We said, yeah, that's what we should do, Ginger. So that's what we're doing. But, your input's so valuable, I'll just pretend you gave it.
Because that's how we heard it.
That's how we roll, man. So the big question is, okay, so big time conversation here about purple. Purple in itself, and this is sort of a violet purple, kind of a red purple. Purple itself can be a little overwhelming. So maybe it would be good, but yellow grays purple because it's opposite itself on the color wheel. If you mix purple and yellow together, you get kind of a muddy color. So you're talking about 1 or 2% of the yellow in the purple to tone it down. Okay, that's what we call knocking it back. All right. So we've got this color mix, and oh, did you see all the green that was on that brush? I think I'll use that one right now. There's this other one. It was already blue, right? Okay, so take a little bit of magenta. See how that's just a little bit in
Pinky.
your face? And even if we put a little bit of ultramarine blue in it, okay, which just makes it kind of... So let's take a little tiny bit of yellow, just like 1% of yellow, and put in there. It's not as bright, and that's a little bit too dull. Look at 1% killed it, didn't it?
Brought it all the way down.
Brought it all the way down. So that's one of those things you kind of got to watch out for, because you want to kill it a little bit, but not much. Now, the other way you could have done it was adding a little bit of mother color to it, like raw umber, but I think we could, um, now I want to bring some blue into this. kind of blend this in. I don't want any stripes. Take a little bit of the ultramarine blue in that. Come over here like this. Use a little bit more blue, I think. Now, what I want to do is take a little zinc white, and that might be another way to just, again, knock this back a little bit without having to do that much. Okay, so let me just show you. Here's some zinc white. Remind me that this is zinc white. Otherwise, I'll think it's titanium. Zinc white. And let me just add that color to this and see how that softened it. So the zinc white might be the secret rather than the yellow to knock it back a little bit so it's not so in your face. Okay? Come off the canvas and then pull down and lift up. Now I'm going to switch to my smudgy because I don't want to ruin that brush. I'm going to take a little bit of the zinc white here. And it's got a little bit of blue with it. And I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, making little circles. This is where one palm tree is going. Knowing how to do this, those smudgy brushes are very inexpensive. You can get a bunch of them for like under $25. And let's take a little bit of ultramarine blue. Taking a little phthalo blue and white. Now, that's pretty bright. That's titanium white. But I want something a little lighter. So there, let's put something a little lighter right in here under that palm tree. That's a good color. Pull some of this down like this. Now, take some zinc white and make some clouds. We start with that color and then you can add more white, but we're just doing the sky here. My arm is just overlapping the circles. Now, you can add more white or you can build up the zinc. Let's try that first, okay? Let's try building up the zinc. Here, let's do this. See, now this is where you put these together here with me. We're going to do this. Now, this works. Now, this is key, you guys. Key thing. This works if you go all the way around the edge with that color. See, right in here. You got to do that too. And then when you put, even though the paintings won't be touching, they will be touching. They'll be touching sort of mentally. Does that make sense? In your mind, they're going to touch the mind of the viewer.
It's an illusion.
Sort of an illusion. So then we've got some kind of white coming down here. See this right here? All right, so let's bring some white down here like this. And that's your zinc white. Now I'm not pushing very hard because this is still wet. So I'm blending that in a little bit. Neat, huh? I mean, that's a neat effect. And then I want it a little bit lighter down toward here. I want a little bit of a lighter purple color down toward here. Like down toward here. I want this a little bit lighter. A blue purple. Put that over there. Now I'm gonna partially dry that, not completely, just hit it with the dryer a little bit, and then I'm gonna put some more clouds. See how this cloud here is it's going to be there's those palm trees are right in here, right? Kind of, they span the difference. If you look at it, they kind of split the difference between these two houses, and they're going right here. So this is where I want my cloud. All right. So I've got blue on this brush, so probably can't use that one. Now, what you can do is just go to the sink and wash it out. Come back. No, we have a lot of sponges, so we're just going to use them. Whoop. All right, here. All right, here's the new one. Now, I want to take a little bit of the titanium white. Well, I think I said I wasn't going to do. I was going to try it with the zinc white first. Remember, I was going to see what I could do with the zinc white.
That's what I remember you saying.
That's what I said. And now you kind of feather out the edges here. See that like that? So you're thinking about smoke and mirrors. You want smoke. Okay, just barely touching this. Particularly the edges. I want something a little bit lighter up here again. It kind of dried out and we didn't see it. Did you see that? It just okay. Now I'm going to switch it to titanium white. Okay. And a little tiny bit of yellow oxide, like next to nothing. So it's just what we would call a vanilla ice cream white. I'm going to paint the edges of that. Now wipe all the paint off the brush, right? Now fuzz out those edges. Make them go away. You can do that. Ease up on the pressure. Bring some of these clouds down. I want to put a little bit of this this white uh, right here. A little bit. Let's put a little bit more color in it. Okay. And then I'm going to get some zinc white and continue it on down like this. Okay. And then let's go back with the blue color. Kind of break this up a little bit. A little bit of that purpley blue color. So just soften these edges a little bit. I don't want these clouds to stay as much as they do in the picture. I think it's too much. So we're softening that a little bit more than in the. See how this is all thick paint? I'm not doing that. We're not going there with that. Can have some clouds here, but not so much. Okay, so I think those are pretty good here for what we were trying to do. Let's come on up here like this. And then there was some light clear up here like that on the clouds up here like this. We'll just paint the side of that. All right. So we're ready for the this. Now this seems a little dark. Does that seem a little dark to you? This seems a little dark. Let's take some light over that.
It's pretty dark on it. On the middle one?
Yeah, this seems a little dark. So a little zinc white will just lighten that up a little bit.
Could be a pending storm.
Well, it could be. I'm just going to take a little bit.
You're changing the weather.
Lighten that up a little bit. I just felt it was too dark um, for what it was. Whoops, I did not want that color. I got into the burnt sienna. So what do you do when that happens? Well, if you've been diligently drawing, just wipe it off. Um, you can spend a little time on skies, and then that there you go. There, that's good. Just kind of doing this. That leaves a little of that purple, but not so much. And then guess I have to rinse that brown off. Okay, and I'll take a little zinc white and a little bit of zinc white up here and a little bit of magenta, a little bit of ultramarine blue. I think that's pretty good. When it dries, if I need to do something else, I will. But I think when we're talking about, I think that's pretty good. We can always add a bit more. Well, maybe just a touch more in here like this. Kind of do it sideways. There. Okay. So now I'm going to dry that, and then we'll put the palm trees and stuff. That'll be fun. Before we do the palm trees, let's do the darker the foliage here above the houses. See this? We're going to start with the light green color. We're going to start a little bit with that. Put a little bit of brown in it. We're going to come up here like this. We're going to get a little of this darker green. Now this is where it gets a little more tricky. Not that anything is really tricky, but more interesting. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. No trickiness here.
No trickiness. We're going to just do interesting things. Because we're connecting foliage, yes? So we put the paintings together. Okay, with me. And we're going to connect this bush to this bush. Now we want a dark color, so we're going to take ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and yellow. Okay, let's put this over here like that so you can see it. A little bit of burnt umber, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, and a little yellow. We want something pretty dark here, okay? And we'll put a little bit of red in it because red darkens green. It's opposite on the color wheel. So that's our darkest color right there. See that? And so now we know we've got some of that dark color over here, kind of in between the two houses, a little bit more like that. And kind of wipe it off and just do some bushes. We're not talking about them too much. Yeah, we know we've got something dark around here, and then it gets a little lighter. So here's some cad yellow light. And we're just going to come up here to the edge of this and say that that's a little bit lighter around this house. A little zinc white with that. Do I have any more of that zinc white? Yeah. Okay. Now, I see where I've got some, these guys are coming over here. Do you see that? You saw how high up this goes. This goes up a little bit higher here. Okay. Okay. Like that. Yes and yes. Then we've got, some dark color. Remember, so we'll start off with that. We're going to say this palm frond comes this way. You don't have to do much. I want it to be a little bit thinner than that. All right, so I'm going to say I'm going to balance this out like this, maybe like that. There, okay. And I'll put a little bit of this light green on here like this on top. All right, nice. Now, that being said, here, like that, now we've got that done. What do you have to do here? You have to paint that dark green like that, maybe just something, but you got to get that darker green.
Bring it over the edge.
And then you got to get that dark green color in here like that. And the same thing with this side. It's just, one of those things. If you do that, just let's say that that's our dark green color right here. And then you're just gonna go over the edge like this. See, so now when we kind of put them together, see how that works? Get some light green on here. Ooh, too yellow. This is where both paintings come together then. All right, so there you go. Now, that being said, let's get some more of this dark green color. Well, no, we'll do some of the lighter green color first. Let's do this lighter green color. Because we're going to say we've got two palm trees. We've got one here and one here. So this one coming up almost to the top here. So maybe let's bring it up a little bit. So we've got some light green coming here. Let's see, some phthalo green and yellow. And some red. And a little ultramarine blue. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go. We've got these colors. Coming up here, and so I'm saying, where are the darker colors first? All right, that's the first set of colors on that, and then this palm tree is behind. The darker colors are behind here, so I'm going to get some burnt umber and and ultramarine blue and burnt umber and make this green really dark, because we've got a really dark bunch of greenery coming underneath this one, and it kind of comes out here too. We'll have to dry it, but there's a really got to be dark. Okay. That's the kind of the core on this, and I'm going to dry that because I've got to go over that. That's this core dark area in here.
Whoa, yeah, yeah. Did you see the brushstroke dance? Did a color get a second chance? Did Ginger show a little trick that made your painting finally click? Don't keep that thought inside your head. Type a little note instead. Tell us what you learned today. Your comment might just lead the way. a comment, make it count. Tell us what the show's about. What did you learn? What made you smile? What helped your painting all the while? Leave a comment, thoughtful and true. There's a lesson waiting just for you. At the end of the quarter, we'll draw and see who wins a ginger tutorial free. Maybe it was shadows, maybe light, maybe that red finally turned out right. Maybe you laughed, maybe you grew, maybe you found something brand new. A kind little comment, a helpful thought is worth much more than nice or hot. Share your heart, your art, your view. We love hearing back from you. Leave a comment, make it count. Tell us what the show's about. What did you learn? What made you smile? What helped you painting all the while? Leave a comment, thoughtful and true. There's a lesson waiting just for you. At the end of the quarter, we'll draw and see who wins a ginger tutorial free. So type it up before you go. Tell us what you'd love to know. Paint, comment, laugh, and learn. A downloadable lesson could be your turn.
So this is where layers can, and you cannot do these palm trees all in one fell swoop, okay? Because you know that there has to be something very dark going over here. Put some more red in it, and green, and dark brown. It's just dark here. You put some more blue in it. There's several different kinds of palm trees.
Oh, lots of them.
There's like, if you looked it up, so if yours looks a little bit different than mine, it's one of the others. Does that make sense? So now we've got a little bit of, okay, let me just rinse the brush on that. We went from light to dark, so we're going to really rinse the brush. You see when I'm doing that? No. All right, now we got a little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt sienna and yellow ochre. So we've got some of these kind of gold colors coming in here like that. Coming down. And I want to do some of that cad yellow light and yellow ochre. And sometimes you could test the color like right on here like that. Make it a little bit greener. And I've got some fronds coming up this way. Remember, we're layering. We've got some kind of coming this way. Because these trees kind of overlap. Now let's take a little bit of phthalo green and cad yellow medium. Now see how that's kind of a bright green right there? Nowhere's that color in that picture. So you can take a little orange and gray it. That's pretty good. A little bit more orange. Now you've got this light, but it's an olive green, but it's lighter. Okay. And I want something a little brighter than that. So I'm going to take some cad yellow medium and cad yellow light and phthalo green. And I want something kind of like in between these two colors. Something a little lighter here. See, when I come up here like this and just say that one was a little bit lighter and it's crossing over. You have to dry this or it doesn't work, right? This palm frond coming like that, and keep the brush flat when you're doing it or you'll get too fat a line. And again, we still need the ultramarine blue, and we want this a little darker, so we're going to come up here like this. Something a little lighter here. Put a little lighter green on the tips of this. I'm going to put a little white in that green. This one made to make it a little lighter. See, just a tiny bit of titanium white. A couple places. All right, so those are those two palm trees. And they have a couple more. We can go back in with some dark, but not till they dry. But we could put the stem, but let's do some kind of like we did in this picture. In this one, let's just add some jungle. Not exactly in the photograph, but we're going to do it because I like this. Um, I like the little bit more definition of the jungle in here, like this, over the black, um, over the dark green color. So we've just kind of, and I want to say that this one's coming up here like this, and I don't know what that is, but I'm going to just say that there's something there. Uh, there you go, something like that. All right, so um, then we've got this greenery, kind of this lime green color, with a little bit of burnt sienna in it. Okay, coming up over here like this. We've got some bushes doing this. Interestingly, that we didn't put the I didn't put the sky all the way down. It goes all the way down to this roof here. This roof looks a little off to me. So we're gonna make some changes. I don't like it. As long as we're doing it, right? So we're gonna make some corrective changes. We're gonna come up here like this and bring out this roof, make this roof a little bigger and do that. Okay. We're gonna ignore this weird shape on this house. I'm gonna change it. I'm doing some new architectural adjustments. Looks better. Just looks better to me. Um, there was kind of a second story up here like this. Which is, but I just felt like we needed to make some adjustments. And I've got the sky coming down behind that house. Uh, luckily for us, we have saved the sky color. A little bit of that purple color down in here like this. A little bit of the blue and white. We can kind of create that. A bit more blue. And we're gonna just, is that dry? Maybe not. Let's risk it. There. Okay. I kind of like that better. All right. So back to the drawing board here on these. So we still want we want the we want these plants to be coming. These are some, maybe these are some banana trees. Something kind of light green in here. This goes all the way to the edge of here, like that. Okay. So that can be drying. And this is dry enough. We can come back with our dark color now. Ultramarine blue, green. My darkest colors here. Okay. Okay, something like that. There, okay. So there's that palm tree. Now let's look at both pictures. Now I've got the same dark in this one, so we might come back and just darken one of these if I need to, okay? Right, to kind of make, I'm kind of bringing the colors a little closer together. Then they can go back and check one, okay? And then we've got some kind of dark. Remember, we're still in the dark greens. Okay, so again, we're just not talking too much about that, but we'll come back to that. So that being said, let's paint our house. Now the brushes, this has had it, okay? So can't clean the brush on a dirty rag. How long is this taking me, John? Just curious.
Oh, you got about a buck in it.
All right. All right.
You're right on target.
All right. So clean and tap it off here like that. Gonna go back with this coat of white on this little house here. And a little bit of this lighter brown up here. Well, maybe I'll put it. I wasn't going to put it, but I've changed my mind. I'm putting it back. It sort of makes it interesting, don't you think, John, that the way the architecture is?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it back. I didn't think, well, I wanted to let's see what would happen if I didn't do it, but we'll put it back. All right, now we're going to come on up here to the roof. And this is lighter up here. Okay. And then it's got, notice I'm not rinsing, I'm just wiping. It's got a little bit of burnt sienna shadow on the roof, almost an orange. Really more of an orange color on this roof and shadow. Okay. And then let's do something like that with there, like that. A little bit of that orange color here. Okay. That was that orange. That was pretty, kind of the light orange color. Cadmium orange is one of my go-to colors. You may have noticed that. I just want to make that lighter. And then we've got some white and kind of raw umber, or not raw umber, but just umber. We should use the raw umber, but we didn't. So we're gonna make a light shadow color right here. And the same up here like this. Now, what's kind of key here on this one, we don't use a lot of tape in this, but I am going to use some for as soon as I find any. Okay. I'm going to put a little piece of tape here. Let's dry that. I'm going to tape that.
Probably not a bad idea on that little guy.
And the reason we're doing that is because we want something really dark there on this edge. As long as I've got that dark brown color out, just put that right there. And again, we're not talking about that over there, right? See how we had to have that sharp line? And you go, those are the kinds of things you kind of got to notice. Here's a little bit of sort of a purple gray color. A little bit more of that color. Okay. This is a sharp line and this is a sharp line. And then these plants are coming over that edge. So let's try that. Let's just cement that in. Save as. Now the secret to this stuff um, is layers, because the first coat didn't cover it. Does that make sense? This first coat did not cover this right like that. And here's the layer on the roof. And we've got a little bit of white coming across there like that. Very tiny line under here. And then we've got 3 small um, windows right here. It's clear to the ceiling like that. One, two. Okay. And we've got 3. They're not quite as brown, so we're going to take them in burnt sienna. Not quite as dark. Okay. And we've got something a little darker shadow in here like this coming over the roof. All right. So we've got that kind of works for me. So if that sort of works, what else could work? Well, could we come up here like this? and make some overlapping bushes. Kind of a light green. Uh, There's some of the darker green that we talked about, that dark green color. Not a lot of detail, but we're just putting in the contrast. This side of the house has got a bit of some color in there like that. All right. So, some of this we can do uh, as we go. We have to sometimes have to think about. You ever have to think about that? Like, what am I going to paint next? This needs another coat of paint. You see that? A little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of red, maybe. Another coat of paint. Small stuff. Which just suggest it might be over here, but we're not talking about it. And we'll take a little bit of orange color here and say that there's some a little bit of burnt sienna. But there's not a lot of not even saying what's happening over there. We're just saying some stuff happened. I love it. Just some stuff happened. We don't know. Some stuff happened. Okay, so let's come back over to this house. And again, make sure your pictures are connected. And let's take some light color. A little bit of white and burnt sienna. Always wipe your brush off when you're doing stuff like this. I'm just going to take some burnt umber and a little white. Because that's more of it doesn't have the red in it, the burnt umber. We're not talking too much about this window here. This is where you want this um, steep line to come out. Just want to know if we can do this in an hour and a half. John, if I had an hour in it, I can't believe it. Well, in for penny, in for pound. Isn't that what they say?
You're well on your way, though.
I
It's
want
looking
to
good.
lighten up this roof. And we've got some sort of some orange brown color here, like a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown. Where's my mixing palette? Oh, here, like this. Got a little bit of that with some white in it. That's about right here. So here's some color underneath this roof. We get a little bit more of the brown. While it's still wet, we come under the eaves like that. Don't have big globs of paint on your brush, but like come down into that. Okay. That side's going to be a little darker because this is the shadow side. So we'll just do that. There, okay. Now, there's like 3 or 4 colors on this roof. You see how wet that is? We just really have to dry stuff, okay? We're going to, let's see, let's really rinse our brush. Where's my hand rag? Don't have enough. Do we have any more than, terry towels?
I suppose you do.
All right, I found one, but time to get some new ones out. Okay, we buy those at Costco. All right, so this has to be lighter right here like that.
You're on top.
Thank you. And then it goes, it's not quite as dark over here, or light over here, but it's still light. So this side isn't white like that, but it is still light. Okay. Okay. Then this side is lighter. So this is the trick. It takes a little patience to dry and then do the next coat. Okay. That's what I want you to, if you've got anything out of this, get in the habit of doing that. All right. There's something dark under this eave right here. Dark brown, like a little triangular piece, right like that. Okay. And then this is a little bit lighter under the roof. Not as light as this, but this has got to be lighter. Then I've got a little bit of, say, if I put some white on the brush here, I've got, okay. All right, so then I pinch the brush off, and then I come in with another color here. Come under here like this. And I have both pieces together now, so I can, if I have to, I can connect them. All right. And then this one here, remember we talked about a darker color. Our darkest color is ultramarine blue and burnt umber. Didn't we say that? Maybe even put a little red in it. Okay. And we could put some green in that too, because I want a really, really dark color. So this couple of lines have to be sharp. Okay. So in order to get that to happen, I have to dry this because you can't tape over wet paint.
It's really tough.
All right. So we're going to put that right there with this angle right there. So you had to have that line sharp. That was important. All right. So now we know that this is the same. We have this dark color. Got to get rid of that blue right here. And then we've got a dark door here. right here. And then kind of a sharp line under this awning, like that. And I think it's getting warm enough with the air conditioner. Maybe we could turn on the overhead fan. I'm willing to do that.
We'll give it a try, my queenness. We lost our central air in the studio.
Yeah, the central air in the studio is gone, so we're using a floor one. And it's a bit more of a challenge.
I guess I could try the medium fan towards the end of this and see if it comes through. Do a little test. Once we're done
take a
officially filming.
We're gonna, because we have, the reason it gets so hot in here, it's normally be fine, but we have the lights are on me. So this is the color underneath this, like that. That light burnt sienna color. Okay, now we've got to dry that. Just to tack it down so that we're not lifting up paint. And if you don't have water on your brush when you do this, oh, okay, I see something. I've had this wrong. So good to know, right? That tape isn't right. This has to come out like this. This one has to come out further. Caught that. I think I got that light enough. It's going over something pretty dark. There, okay. That's what we needed. All right, so and then I'm gonna take some yellow ochre and white and burnt sienna and lighten this, because this is still a little dark. Oh no, I don't want any green. This is a fun painting to me. This is what's fun about this, you guys. This is like doing a puzzle. It's relaxing. Okay, that's too much white on that brush. There we go. That's the color I want. All right, now we're going to dry that and then put the railing. All right, and since we have had other colors on this brush, we have to wipe it out. All right, now pinch it, just the white paint. All right, so we got this railing. I'm going to come under here like this and do the other railing. Like that. Could use a Posca pen, I guess. But this is all very loose painting, right? So don't put a line right down here. This is the light line by the door. So you don't want to put a light here. You got to break it up like this. And there's a no, we'll just do those. We don't need a lot. Okay, and we'll just set something light under here too. Okay. So then you're going. There's a so then. So then there's something kind of light coming down here like this, almost an off white yellow color that's coming down. Not that color. Down here like this. And there's again, that kind of burnt sienna color for that shadow on that roof. Okay. Yay! That's kind of cool. And then remember we talked about that really dark color. Gonna come in here like that and skinny this line up. A lot of different ways to get a thin line, yes? That's just one. In the big city, how to get a big line, thin line. Some shadow on that side. Okay. So I'm happy with the houses. That's house, and that's an odd color. That's still green. How did I let that happen? That's supposed to be burnt sienna and light color. I don't know how that happened. It was not intentional. This is a little darker right here. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So I think we've got the houses. Now I see a little blue here. Yeah, let's come back and let's put this paint over here on this side for a minute. Moving everything. Okay. So remember, we're doing this picture with this picture. See this little bit of blue here? So what goes there? Green. Green and gray. All right, we can do green and gray. Good to know, right? A little bit of, make a little gray color here. Put a little white with it. Put a blue-gray color. A little bit more white with it. How gray is that? Let me just see. Yeah. Okay, so we had that color there. And then we've got this light green color. Remember? This light green color is here. And now we're going back to planning a little bit. This is why I'm not worrying about the house so much, because we're doing some, we're doing some gardening. And, that's always fun, gardening, right? So we'll just ad lib a little bit with some brush strokes. Keeping it more of the olive green. Okay, so it looks good when you start putting the green, doesn't it?
Tying it together.
It does, doesn't it? Now you're excited, right? I knew you would be. Now you're excited. And then, so that's this is the lightest kind of white color right here. This is our lightest color right here. And then up here like that, there's some of that color. That's probably our lightest value right along here like that. But it figures I might as well put that in, right? All right.
You're there.
So this is the thing with it. We're going to do some rocks. So let's just draw them out for you. I think that would help you. Don't you think, John?
Yeah.
I think it would help you. So where's a Posca pen here?
That way you don't get confused.
All right. So let's give this a dry so we don't smear paint all over. But so far it's cute. It's looking cute just like this, right? This is all you did. This is a cute painting, right? Already. Then it would become a diptych, not a triptych. And I think this palette's had it, John. Could I have a new one of these? While I'm drawing this on. Okay? New one of these Masters and State. These they come with 100 sheets and they're so easy. You just not like you don't have to boil anything. You just wet them and put them on. All right. So we're gonna sit there and say we don't have any steps in this one because it's all very impressionistic, right? But we're gonna say that right up in here. This is a rock, okay, and there's kind of one here too. It's just we're seeing, and then see how we're just sort of deciding where it goes here. Where's our water line? Just every once in a while, it's fun to do things that sort of challenge the brain. You're going, oh no, Ginger, that can't be true. But yes, it's true. That this is right here in front of that house. So let's move this over. This rock is right there. And then this comes up like this and comes around like this. That's all splashy stuff. And there's another little rock right here. That's closer. It's in here like that. And it's closer here. It's really about there. Okay, there's the rock. All right, so now just start determine. So when you're doing rocks, just do the darkest colors first. Make sure you get the darkest dark first. John, you were going to get me a new palette. John?
What's that?
I need a new one of these palette things.
No problem. I can whip one of those babies to jiffy split.
Yeah. You got sidetracked, didn't you? There, okay.
Coming right up.
So I'm going to take the dark, which is our ultramarine blue and burnt umber. Want a dark color here, like that, see? Not quite black. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and put these rocks in. The rocks are the water, the bottom is flat because the water's there, right? It's sitting on the ground, right? All right, so then the next color is something a little lighter. Burnt sienna, a little bit of white. Okay. Notice I added a little bit here. A little bit lighter than the just color I just mixed. Come down here for the steps. Well, they're not really steps. We're saying that that's there, and then there's a little bit something right there. Then we're going to come over here, and this was fairly lighter, so kind of a light rock right here. Right, just a little bit of white in there. The thing is that you just don't want just one color. So if you're saying that happened there, then you can do a little bit of maybe just a little bit of color in here like that. Here, let me get my paper towel out so I can wipe the brush. But sometimes if you don't wipe your brush on a paper towel, there it goes, right? So, all right. So now a little bit of burnt sienna, maybe a little bit of red color, and I'm going to come under here like this. See, this is a little lighter. Not getting too technical here, just really not trying to. Okay. Something a little, get that dark color going. Rocks have sharp angles. That's important to keep the angles sharp. And then above this rock, and there's another little brown rock here like this. And then we got a new one of these palettes. We'll put over here for now. Thank you, John. And then there's some brown up in here like that. So the rocks are, the dark is sort of the cracks in between. If that's what you're seeing, kind of as the cracks. Let's do something a little lighter over here. Here's some dark here, which you've got the one where it reaches the water. It's very dark. See this right here? That has to be dark. Okay. So there's something darker right up in here too. There. Okay. So what are we doing on the side here? We're painting that. And oh, where's that zinc white? I need that. Oh, it's up here somewhere. I need a little zinc white. Here's my new palette up here like that. I'll put a zinc white here. See how I'm lightening that color. Okay. So we need something. Then we need something dark in here like that by this rock. Try to keep them kind of sharp here. Maybe a little bit of a rock right here. Let's just say there's another one right here coming down. Remember, it's going to be lighter on top. Didn't put the dark back. All right, so there's we're going to say that that's our rock. All right, now moving this out of the way. Moving that out of the way. And let's do this. Okay. So we're going to dry that, and then we're going to do the water. All right. So we're going to do some clean. Need some clean brushes for the water. That's a little too big. Feel like Goldilocks here. Is that almost the same? That's what is this? A 5/8 inch. Now, let's just look at the water for a minute. All right, so let's mix that blue color. I've got blue and white. Okay, so a light blue color. A little bit that I don't think I have any ultramarine blue out, so I'm just, rather than put it out on that palette, I'm just going to put a little bit of blue here. And I've got just take a touch of just a 1% of that phthalo green and put in there like that. There's this kind of blue-green color. I'm going to come in here like this, paint the sides. A little more of the phthalo green in that. A little bit more of the ultramarine blue in this one. Kind of just come around here like this and do the shoreline. Like, see how we carved that out there? And I'm going to put a little bit of magenta in that color. And kind of a purple blue color here. I want to come out, this color's over here like that. And I've got a little bit of phthalo blue. Let's just dump some white in here. I keep wanting to go back to this white, but let's not do that.
Was that phthalo blue or phthalo green?
That's the old phthalo green.
Okay.
That's phthalo green. Let's just put some white in the Stay Wet palette, because that's what we're going to be using. So the white goes over the brown, okay? And the beach. The white comes up to the beach. So even though this is kind of what we wanted to do, we're a little premature. Okay, what was that? I don't even know what that was. Okay, so that brush is going to just stand by. Let's look at, we have to paint the sand and then this stuff, and then the beach comes over it, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Got to do it that way. So the sand is burnt sienna, a little bit of orange, and some white. I'm thinking a little bit of the cad red light, some white. So this is our sand. It's doing this, and then it gets a little bit darker with a little bit more red in it. Too much red, maybe a little cad orange. A little bit of burnt sienna. Where is that zinc white we had? I know it's up here. There we go. That zinc white is what we needed. You need to spread, kind of have this be going like this. A little bit of zinc white. Okay, that's this picture. And let's see if we got any of this color up here. Like that, we might put it. Okay, that's nice. We'll put that color right there. Now the little bit of burnt umber and uh this reddish brown color. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker right there. Just a little bit of a darker shadow right there. Again, if you're new to painting and this is not one of our beginner videos, but you can learn a lot from watching it, don't you think, John?
Oh, absolutely.
So I've got to come up here with this, just wipe that brush off and come up here with a little bit of this light color, and I've got to have this rock. It's got to be a little lighter than it was. See, as you go back, you need to go back and kind of lighten up your values as they disappear on you. See how I'm not going this way. I'm only going this way into that brown. Okay, the white's only going into it like this. And I'm getting new paint each time I do it. Because I haven't dried it, but I'm going to finish the coast line. And I need to just bring the lighter color into that. And then I'll bring some of this way. Just bring that brown out this way. So kind of look and see, where does it leave the page? Where does it gives it? One of the secrets to being a good painter is being an observer. And if you're not playing those games where find the differences in the little orange here, if you're not finding the differences, playing that kind of game, you're not training you need to train your mind to see the differences. Okay, so let's just pull that off. And one of the ways you can do that is find, they're free on YouTube or on their apps and stuff. You can, not YouTube, but on your phone. You can find the differences and you play those games and they'll help you.
It exercises your mind.
Because you've got to be able to see the differences. And if you can't see those, here's a little bit of a here's a lighter part on this rock here, like that. Okay. Put that there. All right, so that's what you want to do. So let's dry that. So now we're going to go into the blues again. We're going to start putting some blue color, zigzagging it in here like this and around these rocks. Don't be afraid to cross over that stuff you just did. That's the water coming through like that. And kind of flattening out the brush. Making a little bit more purple down in here. Yeah, we're going to trim this rock. It's a little bit too big. Streaking some of the white. We haven't put the wave in yet, but we are, we kind of done this part, right? Now let's do the sand so that we can uh, put these together. All right. This is probably all I'll be able to do today, John. It's been a lot. How long has it been?
You are now at $1.50.
Yeah, it's just like a 2-hour video now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we may have to break it up into 2 parts, depending on what the other one is. That may not be that much, right?
Well, it's going to be 3 parts. There's 3 parts to build this.
Parts. So we may, I don't know when we're going to edit this, but
Soon.
But we're gonna probably get part of this, and that this will be a stopping point. And that's that orange and a little bit of light color here. See, cadmium orange, great color. You can have a little bit of the burnt sienna with it to get some little, some shading. Just put a little on the brush and then just sort of uh, suggest some of that in there. Particularly, it's a little dark here. Something you may not know, but when you're painting like an ocean wave, this little line here can be very darker. Can be dark. This little edge here, there's a shadow on the edge. So what you do is you paint the shadow, and this is sort of a secret, I'll tell you. You paint the shadow in like this, okay? And then you dry it. Now that's key. If you do this, you have to dry it. Well, look at this, how this is coming together, though. Isn't that just amazing? Don't you love it?
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
All right, so we've rinsed the brush. Now, we'll take a little bit of this, the two oranges together, right? That's our orangey sandy color, right? And I'm going to come over with a little white. I'm going to come over this line right up to the edge of that dark line and bring it back. See, that's how I want that thin line. We'll take a little bit of burnt sienna in that color. Okay, I'm gonna paint that side. And then as we keep coming with the colors, we're gonna go into this just gets more orange. Well, the brush is dirty. So that's not the color I want. So let's just wipe that off. All right, so let's start over here. That's all contaminated. So let's start over here with this light orange color, okay? Put a little bit of yellow oxide in it. Okay? Or ochre, depending on what you're using. Okay? Now, that's the color I want. And as it comes way over here, it gets lighter. Okay? And then we can I've got to put some burnt sienna out, but I just don't want it in that pile again. Because again, every time I dip into that, I'm getting other colors. Because this brush is too big for that. So there's some burnt sienna. Now, take all the orange off your brush. It's still dirty, but just take that off. Take a tiny bit of the burnt sienna. Okay? All right, you with me? And then we'll mix that into this orange. All right, so see where I'm going with this? Okay. And then here you've got rinse, 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 rinse. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Now we've got that light kind of white, cad yellow light color. You blend that over it. See? And then you get some more of the cad yellow light color. Blend that into this. There's your beach color. Okay. Now as I get down, let me just put that up here like that. Now as I get down to this page here, okay, on this page here, it's a little bit more yellow ochre. Yes? See that, right? So we're going to put a little bit more of that yellow ochre color over here. And this is where you can't really finish the beach until you have all the pictures, you have the pictures together. I don't know what happened there, but probably something like that. So here, I'm kind of running out of room here.
Wait till you get part 3 there.
Wait till I get part 3, yeah. So let's just cover that up.
You have no room.
Okay, so now So there's this. All right. So now you've got, now you want to do this. See what I mean? So then you bring that little bit of orange color back this way and into here, like so. So nice, isn't it? All right. Then we've got a little bit of that color kind of peeking through here in the, maybe even a little bit of burnt sienna. There's a little bit of this color peeking through the water, but we'll cover it up when we do it. Okay. All right. And this, oh yeah, this color here, let's look again here. See? So this is where it ends. So when we bring the white, we'll have to bring some white over at the beach. Yeah. So rinsing, and throw this paper towel away. I mean, honestly, it's interesting. I mean, I just love how stuff like this comes together, because now you really got a painting. And it just, I know it took a little bit more work than you guys. Some of you guys don't want to spend the time to do it. Others would be happy to do it. So it just depends on you. But let's take a little bit of the titanium white here, come here over this, both pictures. See? That's where that's going. And then it has a little bit of blue in it. Not much. But you can play with this when it's wet. See? And then there's a little bit of this light color coming around, not too far around this rock. Um, Now I'm going to show you a trick I have to only show the Academy members. Here,
Whoa.
only on this side of the paint. No paint on this side, paint on that side. Then pull it down, and you see that little ridge I'm making?
You get some waves in there.
I got a little edge. I'm getting that because, why? Because sort of bending this like this. Then wipe the brush off. Only paint on one side of this brush. You go right up to the edge of this little dark shadow here. All right, now, then we've got, do it again over here so you can kind of see it. Like over on this side, see only here, I'm going to just kind of bend the brush and then pull it that way. Then take a little bit of the brown color in there like that. See? Then you got that little ridge. Practice that. It's kind of fun. Okay. Now this is going up. You see that? You see that's going up? That cannot go up. It has to go a little bit of light blue and a little bit of the phthalo green. This has to go this way and keep this level parallel to the sides, bottom and the sides of the canvas. Get new paint each time. This is fairly thick paint. Then you've got a little bit of this beach here, like just like that. Doop doop, doop doop. A little bit of phthalo blue, phthalo green. You can just add that. We have a Wave and Water Masterclass in our academy. If you're ever interested in something like that, we really show you how to do water. All right, so then you saw where this we have the beach, okay? And have we painted? Yeah, this is probably good enough for here on the sides. Now we've got this wave, that wave right here. I'm going to take a smaller brush for that. Don't want one that large. And if I'm going to do white,
Well, this going to say not with that brush.
can't do it. Just see, I can never get that quite clean enough.
Grab a new one because you don't want it muddy.
You just can't get it clean enough without soap and water. So we're going to go to Plan B, which is another brush. Here we go. One about like that, no paint on it. Now, we want this wave to be coming, we want this wave to be coming up. But before we do that, I want that one light. I want this phthalo green and phthalo blue and a little white. Okay, I want something a little darker and back in here like that. Okay, I wanted that just to be a little bit darker. You can, with a little light edge.
Where it splashed into the rocks.
Yeah, then it's just going to say this splashed up here like that. So that's on hold here. So now, this is coming up. It hasn't curled over yet. It's coming up. So those are the brush strokes, and they're fast and swift. Okay? So they're coming up from these. Well, wait. Just wait. All right. So look at all that color. So there you go. The guys have no idea how much paint your brush holds. Let's take a little bit of this purple color. That's the phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue and magenta. Is that ultramarine blue and magenta? Okay. Now we've got a little bit of this purple color coming up here. That's the shadow side of our wave, and it's coming over those rocks a little bit. There's a little bit of that. Now I'm going to dry those before I put my white. Now here's my white coming up on the brush, right? Paint on one side, and whether you're light or left-handed would depend on which side of the brush you put it on. Okay. Push and lift up. Okay. That's all that's going on here. All right. Then we'll take a little bit of the water. Probably need a detail brush for this, but all right. There's this little rock can stick out further than we had it. Okay. So this little rock here is here, but you've got to keep that flat. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of that purple color, put a little purple here, like a little shadow color. A little bit under here too. That's pretty. All right. So we still have the flowers to put, but I'm tempted to put that. See, what have we been doing this about 2 hours?
Yes.
I'm tempted to do that tomorrow. I guess I could put those. I've got the white here, so we know we've got some.
Yeah, I might lay down the white where it's going to be. Let it dry overnight.
Because we've got right up in here. See, right where this dark is. We've got the And we've got right up in here too, we've got some flowers. And over here too, on this side that kind of connect with those, we've got some flowers. Yes, and we will put the rest of that. So as we finish the painting, because remember now we got tomorrow, next week, because this one we'll release it the following week, right? We've got the other side of this.
It'll be part 3, tied all
The
together.
other side of this wave, and then it'll start making sense, right? Because you've got a little bit of that light blue color coming up here on this part of the wave, right like that. Yeah. So this is what we'll continue on tomorrow. This will be pretty fast. This one should go pretty fast, but as you can see, I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with what we have so far on this, and I feel like we still need a little more detail up in here. But sometimes you just have to decide. Well, that's the end of the chapter. What do you think of that? That's the end of the chapter. And like for instance, like this here, let's put a rock right like that. Lighten something up here. I just would keep playing with you guys. And then, we said we'd have the water flowing over the rocks like this in a couple places, like through here like that. It's flowing over these rocks. All right. Well, I think it's a very good stopping space for this. And
We'll put it all together next week.
we'll put it all together next week. And you just, sometimes we keep the, our max is 2 hours. Most we want to do, really an hour and a half. I don't know when this will be broken up. John may have broken this up sooner. I want to come up here like this, and where's my zinc white? Come up here and bring that out a little bit more than I had it. There we go, that sort of sandy beach color. How fun is that? I mean, really, honestly, you've really got a cool painting now. I'm going to tone that down right there because I can. And we'll just keep working on this painting, and this will be such a project, and won't you be proud of it when you get it finished?
All right, everybody. Appreciate you joining us this week. One more week and have your triptych all together. You don't want to miss that exciting conclusion to this marvelous story.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you more about my friends from Poland too. You don't want to miss that.
Be sure to join us next week. Thanks, everybody. Hit the old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And share, comment, the normal stuff.
Yeah, and thanks for being part of our art family. We love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Every color holds a key to open hearts, to set them free. A brush, a stroke, a whispered hue. The world's emotions shine through you. Sky. the heart to dream. Golden warmth of morning light, deep cool blues of a quiet night, gentle breeze where peace is found, crimson flames where joy abounds. Oh, colors lift the spirit high, colors lift the spirit high, paint the earth and touch the sky, and touch the sky. A gift for the soul, a gift for the soul, a healing stream. Colors awaken the heart to dream. Awaken the heart to dream.